The 2017 Cleveland Browns were the second ever team to go 0-16. So today, with the power of Madden, we are going to try to stop that from ever happening. And we are going to try to stop this team from turning into one of the worst teams ever. And I know I say this a lot, but this is probably the most fun rebuild idea I have ever done. So I am very excited to get into this. I want to keep this intro short. And I just want to say, if you want to see another throwback rebuild, be sure to leave a like. It'll let me know y'all enjoy this. And if we can get to 3,500 likes on this video, it'll let me know y'all want to see another one. And be sure to subscribe for more. I mean, I'm going to be doing stuff like this. I'm assuming y'all will want to see more. So if you like Madden rebuilds, you're definitely in the right place. That's literally all I do. Trying to hit 50K by the end of the month. We are very close. We've been growing insanely quickly lately, so thank y'all for that. It'll make you an OG of the channel for when we inevitably hit 10 million subscribers, definitely. And massive shout out to Pacheco Productions for the suggestion of this video. Their link is in the description. I was gonna do this for 40K, I just forgot for some reason, so thank you for the reminder. I don't know about a Super Bowl with this team, but I will sure try. But if you have any throwback rebuild ideas, let me know in the comments down below. Try to comment something relevant, like don't suggest a random 7-9 team or something. And also, I think I only have the ability to go back to like 2002. Those are the rosters I have, so don't suggest like the 1812 Portland, Maine Pirates or something. I don't know. Like, let me know something relevant and recent. But without further ado, let's get into this rebuild. Where do I even want to start with this? I think y'all know how this is gonna work. We have real life draft classes that happened. I don't know if I can show them here. There's one thing I'm worried about though. Just one thing. What the hell? We got a mentor rookie for Dwayne Bowe? I hate to break it to you, but I don't think he was a rookie at this point. Okay, well, I've had a different problem with the draft classes before. This one just straight up doesn't even come up, and it freezes for a second. It thinks about it. So here's how we're gonna have to do this rebuild, which is maybe a good thing. Almost definitely a good thing. Here we are in Madden 21. This is how we're gonna have to do this. It's the old style of draft classes. That's when these rosters were made. I originally got them from this game, so a little bit of a throwback, but we're gonna have to use this game to do it. But like I said, it's arguably, I don't want to say a better game, but it's hardly different. So I'm very interested to see what Johnny Manziel in this offense can do in year one. We also have Josh Gordon, a really good offensive line. Gary Barnidge, who was pretty good. Duke Johnson, definitely a lot of throwback names here. The defense isn't great though. So clearly this team that would go eventually 0-16 is gonna need some work, believe it or not. But let's get to the midseason point of year one and we will see how this team does to begin with. I don't expect it to necessarily do great, but I guess you never know. All right, well, at the midseason point, I don't know why the screen's black. We are 4-4. We're actually not doing too bad at all. And we have the draft classes loaded up. I mean, this was a good top 10, honestly. It kind of fell off a little bit once you get into this range, but most of it is really good for the most part. And we could end up going with a QB this year already. I mean, we have Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, who, I mean, ended up eventually not being great, but he was pretty good for like a year or two. Dak Prescott. Like, there are some pretty decent players here. Not the best QB class, but decent, I guess. And we have some interesting re-signings to make here. We'll bring Josh Gordon back. I mean, he obviously liked the weed a little too much, which wouldn't even really matter nowadays. And the Browns from this time are arguably the most interesting throwback rebuild you could do. There are so many players on this team that could have easily worked out but didn't, and Josh Gordon is one of the big ones. And he re-signs with us, still only 24 here. That's crazy. Mitchell Schwartz we will also bring back. He re-signs. Gary Barnidge I liked, but he's a little older. Tashawn Gibson we can bring back. He re-signs. And then I think for now, that's all we'll worry about. So let's get to the end of the year and we will see how we finish. Okay, wow, we finished 10-6 in year one. Rebuild's over, guys. That's it. Thanks for watching. No, that's insane though. We're probably gonna get worse as this goes on. We overperformed this year by a lot. We still need to rebuild the actual roster. But Johnny Manziel, 4,100 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 picks. Does he have traits? I guess this isn't where I would check that. I don't know why I went there. Okay traits. Interesting. Well, he did really well. I think this was in the time period where every quarterback did well. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a good season, very good season on paper, but comparatively to the rest of the league, it's like pretty good. But hey, I mean, we'll take it either way. Duke Johnson wasn't great, 3.4 yards per carry. Did have 11 touchdowns, but like, it doesn't matter when you revenue of 3.4 yards per carry. Josh Gordon had almost 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. Gary Barnidge did all right. Really not much receiving outside of Gordon, and I guess Barnidge was really good, or good at least. The blocking was good. Carlos Dansby had 124 tackles. Decent amount of tackles for loss. 10 from Mingo led the team, which we'll want to get him off the team ASAP. He's not exactly a great person, apparently. Although maybe in this world he won't do what he did. We'll see. But Paul Kruger, eight and a half sacks. That's nice, but that was about it. Really not much pressure. I mean, a lot of different players got a sack, but outside of Kruger, this might actually be a decent total, just because so many players got a sack, but really Kruger was the only one who did well. And then 4 picks for Hayden, 3 for Dansby, and then 1 for a few players. So definitely a better rookie year than I expected, or first year. Oh, that's an interesting list. So Tom Brady wins MVP. We have Jay Cutler at number 2. Sam Bradford at number 9. I mean, this is cool. These are some players I rarely see on the channel here. A lot of players that were around when I first became a fan of football. But Offensive Player of the Year also goes to Tom Brady. Johnny Manziel at number 7. That's crazy. I mean, we might just be able to save the career of Johnny Manziel. I don't think we're going to draft a QB this year. If he does have a down year, we might, but there's no reason to yet. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Von Miller, though. Dansby at number 7. That's cool. Gerard Mayo's still around. I mean, he's a coach now, a head coach. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Okay, well, we almost won it. It goes to Marcus Mariota of the 3-13 Titans. Duke Johnson at 2, which I don't know how he was up there. Carlos Williams. I mean, he was really good for like a year in 2015 and then just disappeared. We're pulling out some weird deep cuts here, but I like it. Dante Fowler Jr. for the Jags wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Didn't exactly have the same success there in real life. He became better eventually, but wasn't ever really that guy for the Jags. Danny Shelton at number 8. Ryan Matthews on the Jags. Did he ever play for the Jags or did they just sign him? Also, Le'Veon Bell was best running back. Trying to make an NFL comeback right now. I mean, I know none of this is really relevant to the rebuild. It's just cool to see these players. Julian Edelman won best receiver. Steve Smith up there. Mohamed Sanu at number 3. Okay, I could spend all day doing this. We are, of course, in the playoffs here, and we're going to be taking on the Texans, who are led by J.J. Watt. I don't remember who their QB was at this time. Maybe it wasn't Whedon. It was Ryan Mallett. They also had Tom Savage, Brian Hoyer. Oh, God. How is this a playoff team? I mean, they did have some players. Dwayne Brown, D-Hop, Arian Foster, Vince Wilfork at the end of his career. Brandon Brooks. I'm sure a lot of people would know him for the Eagles. Whitney Merciless, Jadeveon Clowney at only 22 years old. I forgot they had Red Bryant, Seahawks legend, I guess. They might have just signed him, actually. I don't know if he was actually on the Texans, but let's simulate this game and we'll see what happens here. Wow, we get kind of smoked by the Houston Texans with, I already forgot who their quarterback even was. Oh yeah, Ryan Mallett. Oh yeah, wait, rest in peace. That's terrible. What? I forgot about that. I don't know how that didn't click in my head when I first saw him. When I saw him, I was thinking of TJ Yates for some reason. I got those two mixed up a lot, but let's get into the offseason here. That was a quick tone shift, and I'm interested to see who's gonna win this Super Bowl. These loading screens are so loud. I don't know why, but it's the Patriots and Eagles, a Super Bowl that would happen a few years in the future. And actually, if we want to be technical here, this isn't the 0-17 Browns yet. We're gonna get to that team. This was the 2015 Browns. I just don't have a 2017 roster. I have this one that's called 2016, but it's Madden 16, so it's 2015. But we can pretend this is 2017 because I'm pretty sure that's the Super Bowl that happened after the 2017 season, so 2018. Lots of years thrown around here. None of them make sense. That's fitting, though. The Eagles won that one, but it's still the same two teams, I think. Unless I'm wrong, then ignore everything I just said. But I think it was that season. But for re-signings, I'm a yapaholic today. Gary Barnidge was good, but again, he's 30, and I want to make this team younger. And I don't really want to pay anyone. We'll try to make it super cheap, too, until we're ready to make this team just really good. Although we'll probably sign some free agents this year. There's just no point in bringing these players back. So let's get into free agency, and let's see if there's anyone good available. I hope so. Okay, there are some good players. It's a lot of older players, I will say that. Andrew Whitworth, Haloti Ngata, Matt Forte. Yeah, there isn't a single there, jeez. All these top guys are at least 30. Junior Gillette is only 28 here, which still isn't super young, for Madden at least. How are we feeling about Matt Forte, though? I don't know about a 4-year deal. Okay, that might be a little overkill. It's only $9 million per year, though. I would be fine with that. Ruben Randall, that's crazy. Kobe Fleener with his serial killer stare. Honestly, I'm not too interested in, like, anybody here. We could go with, like, Lawrence Guy. I guess that would work. I mean, he just got cut today in real life, but our D-line isn't exactly strong. Ooh, I don't know about that. Okay, these are the 3 players we're going to go for. Nothing crazy, but Matt Forte, Dan Carpenter, because we don't have a kicker, and Lawrence Guy. I know, super exciting. Well, Matt Forte was really good, but he is 30, so hopefully he doesn't regress too much. But let's see if we can get these 3 players. Okay, and we do get all 3. That's huge. But in the draft, I think we'll just see who's available, because we don't really have any desperate needs anymore. I mean, D-line, sure. We have Jordan Poyer at safety, though. He'll eventually just replace, I guess, Dante Whitner. We probably need a corner and tight end, and then we'll just see what contracts are expiring. So this team's already pretty good. All right, well, here in the draft, we pick at number 20. The Titans ended up with the number 1 pick, which is interesting. I think they also did in real life, but they traded it to the Rams. I think that's what happened, at least. Let me see about that. Okay, yeah, wait, they were 3-13, which was their record here, too. Also, in real life that year, the Browns went 3-13, so we were just, you know, slightly better here. I was gonna say that was a pretty good sim, but yeah, that might be the only accurate one. I think the Texans also did go 9-7 here, though. So hey, maybe this game's better than the newer Maddens, at least in terms of simulation. I don't know. What are the Titans gonna do at number 1, though? Joey Bosa, that makes sense. This game is just better than Madden 24. In Madden 24, they would have taken Jared Goff with that pick, even though they wouldn't need him. But let's get to our pick. Artie Burns goes a pick before us. That's interesting. Jared Goff is still available? Really? I mean, I don't want to take him because it's not realistic, but I don't know how much I trust Johnny Manziel. Who did the Browns end up taking this year? I know they ended up with Cody Kessler. I think their first round pick was Corey Coleman, who did get taken. They got Seth DeValve, I guess, in the 5th round. They might have taken Joe Haig or Spencer Drango. I don't know. Oh yeah, and how I'm going to do this, just so we don't absolutely crush all the drafts, is I'm going to make these first 3 picks, and then we'll have to sim the rest. And I'm just going to try to not be too cheesy with the picks, I guess. Wait, who picked Emmanuel Ogbah? That was the Browns, right? How many picks did the Browns have this year? Oh, okay, they had a lot. I was going to say, I saw a lot of players that I thought played for the Browns. Or no, I'm looking at 2015. I'm stupid. No, they did also have, wow, they had even more this year. They got Corey Coleman, Emmanuel Ogbah, Carl Nassib, Sean Coleman, Cody Kessler, Joe Schobert, and that's not even half of the players they got. The fact that they didn't hit on any of those players is insane. Other than, I guess, Joe Schobert. Emmanuel Ogbah ended up being pretty good, but not for them. How do you have 14 picks and get one pretty good player in Joe Schobert? That's crazy. I was gonna say, how did this team end up as an 0-17 team? This is why right here. I kind of want to go with Hunter Henry, though. I think we will. I mean, he's only 21 years old here. First round talent, sure. Hidden Dev, only a 73, but I might want to raise the overalls in this class. They're kind of low. A 73 is number 13 in the class. Yeah, we'll see. God, Jared Goff is still available. Why? I mean, at this point, we might take him, honestly. We also need a receiver. They took Ricardo Lewis, didn't they? Yeah, in the 4th round. You know, there's Tyreek Hill, which I'm not gonna do that. If the CPU picks him for me, then cool, but that would be a little insane. I do want to take one crazy player eventually in this draft, though. We could go with Matt Judon here. I might do that. He's already 24. He was really 24? I feel like that might not be right, because he's only like 31 now or something. Maybe he is 32. Maybe that is right. I don't know. But he's an early 2nd rounder, so we'll take him. 70 overall, hidden dev. Cool. Players develop quicker in this game, I noticed. So even though they're starting at lower overalls, they should develop pretty quickly. And last pick I'm going to take, Roberto Aguayo. Oh, God. That's why you don't draft a kicker. I mean, I don't know who Marshall Cone is, but all 3 of these guys were better than Aguayo, and they went undrafted. Will Parks. I remember I said something on Instagram that made him really mad. I don't know what I said. That was like a few years ago. That was probably 4 years ago. I don't know why I remember that. Just anytime I see him, I think of that. I don't remember what I said. Why are there so many censored names? Oh, well, that makes sense. Adolphus Washington or whatever. But Hassan Ridgway? Willie Henry? We really censoring Willie out here? I mean, it censors Willie Gay, his full name all the time. Should we go with David Onyemata, Andrew Billings, Matt Ioannidis, DJ Reader? There's some pretty good players here. Michael Pierce. This is a good defensive tackle class. Sean Oakman. Okay, I'm gonna make an exception. I think I gave him a good dev trait, though. That might be kind of cheesy. I'm gonna make one exception here. I'm gonna make this pick, and then I'm gonna pick him in the 4th round. That's just too fun to not do. Let's go with David Onyemata, I think. I don't know who's the best out of these guys, but sure. Hidden dev, 70 overall. Cool. Why not? But with this pick, I will simulate it, because that's what I said I would do. And with this one, let's go with Sean Oakman. Not out of Abilene Christian, but it just glitched all the colleges, or at least most of them. Let's take him here, though. Hidden dev, dev, only a 58 overall, but hidden dev and a very, very, very fun player. But let's sim to the end of the draft and we will see how we did and what the CPU did. Okay, well, again, I want to reiterate that these draft classes are lower overall. This looks terrible, but these were some of the best players available. Ooh, the top picks were interesting. So Joey Bosa, we saw that, but Jalen Ramsey went to his current team in the Miami Dolphins at number 2. Ronnie Stanley to the Chargers. DeForest Buckner went to the Cowboys. That's interesting. Jack Conklin to the 49ers. Eli Apple went in the top 10 for some reason to the Cardinals. Interesting picks up here. Ooh, Carl Joseph went in the top 10. Why was it picking safeties in the top 10? Any other actual ooh, the Giants got Carson Wentz all the way down at 15. Corey Coleman got taken by the Commanders. Did he play for the Commanders or am I just thinking of Josh Doctson? I don't know. Emmanuel Ogbah got picked by the Chiefs, which I think he ended up on the Chiefs. A few actual team fits here, but not many. Normally we see a lot more when we do these. Jalen Smith to the Cowboys, as I was saying that though. So I guess there's one. Michael Thomas to the Cardinals. Derrick Henry to the Raiders? That's interesting. Oh yeah, Ezekiel Elliott fell all the way to the mid-second round to the Bengals. Jared Goff all the way in the 3rd round. We saw a QB run right here for some reason, but he went to the Dolphins. That's a really good value pick for them. I don't know if they need QB, but they got one. Our draft was interesting though. We picked Alex Collins, which I was fearing because I didn't want this to get even more depressing. Another rest in peace there. That's terrible, but to bring the mood back up, Sean Oakman, of course. I should make him a higher overall. I mean, he was a good player, just legal issues that weren't even really legal issues. It was apparently something he didn't do. So for future rebuilds, I might take him again and make him better. But the CPU also picked Brandon Shell, ended up being a starter and pretty decent. Anthony Brown ended up being a starter and pretty decent. Tajay Sharp, Trey Madden, and Jeff Driscoll, who might currently be on the Browns. I think he is. I can't remember. So this is a very interesting draft class. Honestly, maybe too good because most players we ended up taking ended up being pretty decent starters in the NFL, but hey, I only picked 3 of them. So let's get into year number 2 and we will see how this team is looking. Okay, well, here we are heading into year 2. Very interesting team. I mean, not super different, but we did add Hunter Henry on offense and then Matt Forte at running back. So pretty much just improved our 2 biggest weaknesses on offense. I guess tight end wasn't a weakness last year, but we got a lot younger there and soon should be better. And hopefully Johnny Manziel can keep it up. I mean, that would be really fun to save his career. Is it just me or do the numbers look really stretched out? That's weird looking. I don't know. Either way, hopefully he can keep it up. And then the defense, again, not super different, but we added Lawrence Guy and then that's about it. We drafted some, future starters. And honestly, we can start Jordan Poyer this year over Dante Whitner. I mean, he's what, like 32, 31, close enough. I have a lot of players I want to get playing time. I just don't know where to play them, like Sean Oakman, David Onyemata, Matt Judon. Like, this is a really fun rookie class. I'll figure something out, we'll see. But let's get to the midseason point of year 2 and we'll see what happens. Okay, well, at the midseason point, we are 4-4 again. This year, the Ravens are doing pretty well. The Bengals are definitely struggling. So, I mean, we're in the same spot we were last year. We'll just see how we finish this season. If we have a down year, that's fine. I mean, we definitely overperformed last year. I'm excited for this year's draft, though. The 2017 draft has some of the current best players in the NFL. Yeah, that's crazy to think about. The best quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. The best running back, Christian McCaffrey. Arguably the best tight end in Jake Butt? No, in George Kittle. The 2 best pass rushers in the league, like 1A, 1B in Myles Garrett and TJ Watt. This is a crazy good draft class. I mean, the best safety in the league at 1 point in Jamal Adams. Probably the best receiver at 1 point in Cooper Kupp. This was really good. So we'll see who we want to take. We might end up taking one of those guys, even though it might be kinda cheesy. We'll see who's available. I'm kinda eyeing TJ Watt, though. We'll see. We have some re-signings. Barkevius Mingo, because there are some good pass rushers coming up, we're not going to bring him back. Jordan Poyer, we will bring him back. 5 years, 43 mil. That's pretty cheap. He takes it. K'Wan Williams, he's pretty good. 4 years, 32. He takes it. And then honestly, everyone else, I mean, Taylor Gabriel's pretty good. Yeah, we'll re-sign Taylor Gabriel. He's only 25 still. He comes back. And then I think that's all we'll deal with for now. So let's get to the end of the year and we will see how we finish this year. Okay, well, once again, we finish at 10-6. The rest of the division finished 7-9, which is something. It feels like that happens a lot in Madden for some reason. Like your entire division will finish with either the same record or really close. Johnny Manziel, another good year, 41, almost 4,200 yards, only 24 touchdowns, which is, that would be good for real life, but that's probably close to the least in the league. 10 picks, that's good. 70% completion percentage. Again, how did he stack up? I mean, pretty good. He was 13th for passer rating if you want to weigh a ton into that. So, I mean, borderline top 10-ish. Nick Foles was really good this year for the Rams. He was really bad last year. Tyrod Taylor has become like an MVP candidate here. That's crazy. Eli Manning is on the Jets. This is an interesting franchise. Peyton Manning still hasn't retired and he's still playing like one of the best QBs. Now down to a 77 overall. This is an interesting rebuild so far. Matt Forte, 1,000 yards, 4 per carry, 15 touchdowns, pretty good. Almost 1,300 yards for Josh Gordon, 9 touchdowns. Hunter Henry as a rookie, 883 yards, 3 touchdowns. I wish he had more touchdowns, but we just didn't pass many. Ooh, Mitchell Schwartz was pretty bad, but the rest of the line was good. Carlos Dansby again led the team with 122 tackles. Tackles for loss we had a lot. 15 from Kruger led the team, and sacks, 9 from Kruger. He's been a stud. I mean, no insane numbers, but really good amount of tackles for loss. Even had a pick this year. 9 sacks, we'll take it. But outside of him, really not much. Mingo did pretty well. Guy, not Mingo. Mingo did absolutely nothing. He had 1 sack. He didn't play a whole ton, but still. Oh, Matt Judon got a ton of playing time. I didn't really mean for that to happen, but he only got a sack and a half, so, ooh. But Jordan Poyer, 5 interceptions, 3 for Hayden and Gibson, 2 for Gilbert, which that's another career we're trying to save here, and then 1 for a few players. I feel like the team did better this year. Other than Mitchell Schwartz, and I guess Manziel did a little worse, I feel like we were better. But Tyrod Taylor does win MVP. That's crazy. I don't really remember him being that good in these throwback rebuilds, but he is here, at least. Eli Manning on the Jets at number 4. This is a weird franchise so far. Offensive Player of the Year also goes to Tyrod Taylor, or Tyrod Taylor, I guess is how you say it. Close enough. Manziel at number 10 this year. Dante Hightower wins Defensive Player of the Year. Kruger at number 4. Dansby at number 8. Offensive Rookie of the Year, kind of unsurprisingly, goes to, I guess, the wrong Henry. It goes to Derrick Henry for the Raiders. Our Henry, Hunter Henry at number 2. The Texans got Tyreek Hill. That's crazy. Jalen Richard for the Patriots up there. That's another fun part. Interesting players can, you know, become good here. Just depends on their landing spot and their fit and all that. And Joey Bosa, the number 1 pick, wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Derek Kindred, a Brown up there. I thought about picking him. I think he was good for like a year in real life. God, I forgot this was a thing. But we're going to be taking on the 11-5, still Tom Brady-led New England Patriots here. So I don't think we are going to win this game. We don't necessarily deserve to win this game. This team is still absolutely stacked. Dante Hightower, Defensive Player of the Year. Rob Gronkowski, Jamie Collins, Julian Edelman, Nate Solder, all these players at their peak. But let's simulate this game and let's see who wins. I don't think we should win this game. And no, we lose 28-14. Okay. But this offseason, assuming there are some good free agents, we should really be able to make this team great. Our offense is pretty good, just the defense still isn't the best. So let's see what we can do. Ooh, and in the Super Bowl, the Bills beat the Rams 31-21, which I tried to be goofy and quirky with my Super Bowl prediction for this upcoming season. Probably won't happen, but I guess you never know. Madden apparently thinks so, although that doesn't make sense because this is like still 6 years in the past, whatever. But 4 re-signings, honestly, yeah, we're still good on everyone here, I think. There isn't really a reason for us to bring any of these guys back. So let's get into free agency. Hopefully it's stronger this year. And it kinda is. Okay, here's the thing. We just signed Matt Forte last year, but I forgot how hard regression hits in this game. He's already down 5 overall from last year at only age 31, which I guess is old for a running back for sure. But it wasn't like he was amazing this year or anything, and he's probably gonna do worse next year. I mean, he was good. He had a lot of touchdowns, which is good, but like, depends on how much you want to weigh into that. He had the long rushes are ridiculously low in this game. The longest run he had was 10. Interesting. But we might go for Giovanni Bernard, honestly. Kellen Moore, Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is an interesting free agent quarterback class. Paying 1 running back in real life is never really a good idea, but we're going to be paying 2 here. So we'll see how that goes for us. All right, we're only going for 2 players here. It's going to be Giovanni Bernard and Kiko Alonso. I also want to go with a defensive tackle, but there just aren't any good ones at all. I mean, there's some good actual defensive tackles, but they're old. Like Haloti Ngata's 33, Kyle Williams is 34. That would be an upgrade for a season, but that's it. Also, Paul Kruger regressed even more. He's down to a 79 now. That sucks. But yeah, we'll go for these two. We'll see if they sign. I almost want to do a bigger deal for Kiko Alonso because we don't have a massive lead, but we'll see what happens. Let's sim the week. I don't think we're gonna get Kiko Alonso, but we don't really need a linebacker. And no, we don't. Ooh, we also don't get Joe Bernard yet. The Eagles are interested now. Okay. Well, worst case scenario, we can just cut Matt Forte. I don't think it's a big penalty. Okay, now does Gio Bernard want to sign? Okay, and he does. Cool. Still, the goal heading into that free agency was defense, and we didn't sign anyone. But there just weren't really upgrades. But we will definitely look to do that in the draft. So let's see what we can do. Okay, I forgot it does that. Presses A when it tabs you back into the game for some reason, but the Bears have the #1 pick this year, which they ended up with #2 from trading up, where they took Mitch Trubisky. Or was it #2 or 3? No, it was #2. He's at #2 right here. This draft, the top 10 wasn't as good as last year's. I mean, there were really good players in it, but yeah, I mean, Trubisky, Solomon Thomas, even Leonard Fournette didn't pan out. I mean, he was pretty good, but not worth a top 5 pick. Corey Davis was all right for a few years, not worth a top 5 pick. This was an interesting one. John Ross, that would be a fun trying to save the career. If he slips, we might take him, honestly. That would be cool. Also, if one of these QBs slips, do I really want to take Deshaun Watson? I mean, he was really good before he was not a good person. We'll see. But at #1, the Bears. I mean, let's hope they go with Mahomes. They probably won't because he isn't high enough up. But yeah, this team isn't very good. I see why they have the #1 pick. They got James Bradbury. That's kind of cool. Let's see what they do here. They do go Myles Garrett. Okay, good for them. I mean, Mahomes would have been great too, but as long as they didn't pick Trubisky, then that's probably a win. The Colts go Fournette. Interesting. The Dolphins go Jamal Adams. I mean, that's Jets Jamal Adams, so that's a pretty, I mean, still safety at #3 is interesting, but that's a pretty good pick. At number 23, we're pretty spoiled here. At quarterback, we still do have Deshaun Watson available. Cooper Kupp is still here. He could be an interesting pick. We would have to take him round 1 if we're going to take him. We could also go George Kittle, but no, we took Hunter Henry. Never mind. Trey Hendrickson and Carl Lawson, 2 Bengals at one point. Reuben Foster was very good before, legal issues, as is the theme with quite a few players here. TJ Watt is still available. Now, we are the Browns, so this would be a little bit cursed, but I mean, I kind of want to do it. There are also some really good safeties, not so much at strong safety. Well, Eddie Jackson, you know what? Because he's still here, we're gonna do it. Let's go with TJ Watt. 78 overall, #3 player in the class. That's like the first player I've seen who has their actual face scan in the game, so we'll take it. That still doesn't even really look like him, but kinda. Now, in the second round, Deshaun Watson's still here. I mean, teams just don't pick quarterbacks here, apparently. We could also take Cooper Kupp. I mean, God, that would be too unrealistically good of a draft class. I guess so would Deshaun Watson, though. I mean, that pick would make it unrealistic, too. You know what? Do we do it? Manziel's been good, though. I don't want to give up on Manziel. That's the fun point of this rebuild, or one of the fun points. Let's go with a corner, or should we go with a receiver? I don't want to go with Cooper Kupp. That's too much. Godwin or Galladay would be cool. I mean, Galladay infamously didn't work out for the Giants, but was really good for the Lions. I think I'll go with Chris Godwin, though, because he is still currently good. Has been a little derailed by injuries, but is still good. So we'll go with Chris Godwin here. Another hidden dev, 75 overall. Huge. And the last pick that I can take, Chase Roulier. I mean, he retired in real life already, but he was pretty damn good for the Commanders. I do want a corner, though. Rasul Douglas is here. This was this year breakout Rasul Douglas, so I don't think he's going to be amazing, but I think he'll be pretty good. So let's take him. Ooh, only a 67. I might have given him superstar, though, because I did these weird. I made some players that are good in real life low overall superstars. That actually kind of makes sense for him, though. He didn't really start out his career very good and slowly turn into a really good player. You know what? I might leave him if he has superstar. superstar. This actually kind of makes sense. We're gonna try to get him playing time so he can develop. I know a 67 in the 3rd round isn't great, but he has a good dev trait. Let's simulate this draft out though, and we will see what kind of players the CPU picks too. I feel good about our picks though. But in the draft, honestly, here's the thing. I should probably take more actual Browns players. I mean, that's not necessarily part of the challenge, but I was gonna do it and then I just kind of forgot. The CPU's taken a few Browns for us, but not many. But anyways, here's how we did in the draft. Y'all already saw the first 3 picks. We also got DeMonte Casey. Other than him, though, I mean, we got Jordan Morgan, who I think was a really high overall in Madden at one point. God, there was something. He had like a star dev. I remember in like Madden 17 or 18, I would just sign him a lot for some reason. Like in almost every franchise I did. I don't know. But we also got Brandon Wilson. I don't really even know who that is. And then Jerron Jones. I forgot he existed. So not exactly the same CPU draft as last year, picking us like mostly real life starters, but I guess one at least. He was a 24-year-old rookie. How old is he now? I don't know. That's interesting. But it's always a good draft when you get TJ Watt. So let's get into year 3. Year 3? What year are we in? We'll say year 3. Again, I just woke up. I always say this. After I do a rebuild and then sleep, it's like I got flashbanged. I forget everything. That's not what a flashbang is. I don't know. I just forget everything. Oh God, we got MMG here. That's crazy. I forgot about that. There was a kicker that also looked like MMG. Is he here? No. I wish I remembered who it was. Of all players we could get a mentor for, why Jordan Morgan? Why? Was he good for a year in real life? I have no idea. Maybe. And Chris Godwin, that one's actually pretty huge. Thank you, Andrew Hawkins. Isn't he like a analyst or something now? I don't know. Andrew Hawkins, not Chris Godwin. But here's a look at the team heading into year 3. Did Josh Gordon get superstar this offseason, or did I just not notice? Because I know he had star to begin with. Okay, yeah, he got superstar during the Super Bowl week, so that's cool. Now up to an 88. This offense is really, really good on paper and should only get better throughout the year with guys like Chris Godwin, Hunter Henry, still super young. I mean, most of our offense is really young. Our line isn't, but I mean, if you're gonna have one old position, that's definitely one I'm fine with. The defense still isn't a great overall on paper, but it looks good, especially with the addition of TJ Watt. I'll also start Rasul Douglas, even though he's only a 67. We'll just try to develop him. Development is very quick in this game. I figured it would be, so I kind of used my regular sliders, but toned down a little bit. Like if I normally go 130% XP for quarterbacks, I went 120, but it didn't really matter. Players still develop super quick, which is kind of fun. I kind of like it. Maybe I should use higher sliders in the newer games. I don't know. That makes too many 99 overalls though. That's too chaotic. Anyways, I'm just yapping. You know what? I'll start Matt Judon too because he is superstar. But let's get to the midseason point, and hopefully we're better than 4-4 this year. We'll see. Hopefully we're not worse. We very well could be though. Okay, maybe this game isn't better than Madden 24. We're 0-7. Well, we're gonna bench someone this year. We somehow don't have negative morale. Was morale not a big thing at this time? Was it not a thing at all? No, I know it was. Why do we not have like -5s everywhere for being 0-7? Hold on, we're what, an 85? Where does that rank in the league? How do I retire in this game without actually retiring? Okay. Ooh, this is a very split league. I was like, okay, maybe we're terrible because I saw 2 88s and then I saw a 78. We're not like one of the best teams, but we kind of are. We're close. We're better than most teams, it looks like. We're tied for 7th in terms of roster overall, and we're 0-7. That's tough. Who we benching? Johnny Manziel definitely isn't doing great, but you know who's coming up in this draft class? I'm not gonna spoil it if you don't know, but it's the 2018 class. Ooh, Giovanni Bernard. Okay. I wish I could have checked his stats before I signed him, because if I saw this, I wouldn't have signed him. But really, this is how a 92 overall plays? 93? Should I give him traits? I might. Big hitter? Sure. Finesse move? Sure. Ooh, Chris Godwin. Already has almost 700 yards. Only 2 touchdowns, but that's more of a product of our offense being terrible. The blocking with our average of like a 90 overall offensive line is really bad. And we have 3 total sacks on the season with TJ Watt and Matt Judon as pass rushers. I mean, it's pre-amazing Matt Judon and TJ Watt, but it's still those 2 players. We'll just let this season season play out, I think. But hey, underperforming with a pretty good roster is kind of the Browns' norm as of late. I guess other than this year. This year they were kind of the opposite. But we have some re-signings. Joe Thomas. Did he retire this year? Or what year did he retire? 2019? No, 2017. Well, he hasn't retired here. He comes back. Joel Bitonio is still only 25. That's crazy. He re-signs. Carlos Dansby still hasn't retired either. He's going to regress a lot after the year. We'll probably look for a new linebacker. Christian Kirksey, though, 3 years, 18.5 mil. He doesn't re-sign. That's like the first player to reject us. That's crazy. Paul Kruger's going to retire. John Greco's, or not retire, regress. Did I say regress for Dansby or retire? I don't know. He might retire, but I meant regress. But Kruger's going to regress. Greco will regress. Johnny Manziel, he's not doing super well this year. I mean, this wouldn't be the worst for real life. I mean, that's a ton of picks for real life, so it wouldn't be great. But this is probably the worst quarterback season in the league right now. So we're probably going to draft our QB of the future. And then the rest of these guys are just mostly backups. I signed Kendrick Bourne, so that's kind of fun, I guess. He didn't get picked for some reason. Normally, if there's like a good hidden dev player that's supposed to go undrafted, they'll get drafted anyways, but he didn't for some reason. But anyways, let's get to the end of the year. Maybe we'll miraculously finish 9-7. I don't know. We'll see. Now let's hope for 0-16 to just... Could you imagine? I thought about that yesterday. Imagine if we just randomly have an 0-16 season in this rebuild. I kind of hope it happens. That would be funny as hell. The rebuild where the point is to not go 0-16 with this team. I hope it happens this year. Okay, well, we're not in the playoffs. What's our record? 6-10, damn it. Okay, well, here's the thing. This is a very good quarterback class coming up. The Browns obviously took a quarterback at number 1 in this draft in Baker Mayfield, who was honestly pretty good for the Browns before he got injured and then wanted to play injured and looked bad because, you know, big shocker, you don't look great when you're injured. Then he went to terrible teams in the Panthers and Rams and didn't look great, and then he was good for the Bucs this year. So we could go with him, we'll see. We're done with Manziel, unfortunately, unless he really rebounded. Let's check out the stats. He might have really rebounded. Okay, he did. Why do you have to make my life hard? Johnny Manziel's fun, but I kind of want a different QB because he isn't a great overall, but it is fun. I don't know, but he had 4,600 yards, 34 touchdowns, 14 picks. He was very good in the second half of the year. Giovanni Bernard was terrible. Are we going to look for another running back? I think we're going to have to. Chris Godwin, I almost said as a rookie, not as a rookie, but in year 2, 1,345 yards and 7 touchdowns. Josh Gordon, almost 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Hunter Henry did well. Hall of Fame tackle Joe Thomas allowed 11 sacks, so that's cool. 10 for Mitchell Schwartz. Thanks, EA. Carlos Dansby, 113 tackles, led the team. 15 tackles for loss for Guy and Shelton, 13 for Onyemata, and sacks, a whole 6 from TJ Watt. That's just his number whenever I use him in a rebuild. For the Steelers in Madden 24, he'll always get like 25 sacks or something crazy like that, but whenever I use him, he gets 6. It's always 6. I don't know why. And really no pass rush at all other than him, and even that was not great. But interceptions, 3 for Dansby and Gibson, 2 for Douglas and Hayden, and then 1 for Watt and Judon, which is fitting. For yards, we were 3rd and 9th. Hold on. How? And we finished 6-10? Okay, the 3rd on offense makes sense, but we were 9th on defense. That's insane. Our defense looked terrible, but MVP, that's something. Matt Ryan wins it for the Atlanta Falcons. Carson Wentz on the Giants at number 2, and Tyrod Taylor at number 3. Huh. The Patriots still have Jimmy Garoppolo here, and he was at number 6. Geno Smith at number 8 for the Jets. What a franchise this has been. I love how stupid this gets. I want to do more of these. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Alex Smith, though. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Khalil Mack. Carlos Dansby at number 10. Oh, and Johnny Manziel at number 4 for Offensive Player of the Year. Almost missed him. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Dalvin Cook on the Jags. Wait, Godwin was a rookie. I'm stupid. He was at number 2. Oh, yeah, I forgot it switches it to 1 after their rookie year, like immediately. I was like 1 year of experience, so he isn't a rookie, but he was. And Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jamal Adams for the Dolphins. TJ Watt at number 2. Of course we would get cucked. It always has to happen in a rebuild. Rasul Douglas at number 4. I still don't think I've seen a player get drafted to the right team once. I mean, I know I have, but really not many. Greg Ward up there for Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Ravens. That's something. This was a very winnable division, though. The Steelers and Bengals both went 8-8. Kill me. funny. But let's get into the offseason, possibly the final offseason. We might go another year after this. We'll just have to see how it goes. I'm conflicted, though. I'm wondering if we should change our defensive playbook. I know we were like 9th for total yards, but we got like 20 total sacks with TJ Watt and Matt Judon. So I don't know. But in the Super Bowl, as a Seahawks fan, I would love that. The Seahawks win 45-31 in what would be Super Bowl 51? 52? No, that would be 51, I think. Ooh, and Chris Godwin and TJ Watt have upgrades. Oh yeah, I forgot we got double cucked. Both got number 2. Great. But hey, we still get upgrades, so it doesn't really matter. And this team is looking nice. I mean, we're an 87 overall. I still want to get this defense better, but honestly, it's already borderline good enough. Just D-line is a problem, so we'll address that in, I guess, free agency in the draft, if we can address it in free agency. But for the rest of the re-signings, Christian Kirksey, I miss when it would tell you what players want in their contract. See, he wants a better bonus, so we'll up it a little bit from 231 to 238. And he takes it. I don't know if I'm crazy for liking some of the stuff in this game more, but maybe it's just because I dislike Madden in general so much. I just want to find any little thing in this game I like better to prove a point, but I don't know. There are definitely some things that, I don't know. And also, Johnny Manziel's making it tough for me. Should we re-sign him? He's not very expensive. He's fun, but I'm also sick of him. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because he's had like similar years every season and I'm sick of the repetition. He's also taken like the exact same amount of sacks every year somehow. I mean, different touchdown numbers, but similar yards, really similar passer ratings, similar-ish interceptions. I don't know. I'm sick of him. I want a new QB. I'll re-sign Kendrick Bourne, I guess. And I think that's it. So let's get into free agency. I wish I could speak. And hopefully there are finally some good players this year. There really haven't been, at least for us. Ooh, and there are still a lot of older guys, but some good players like Jimmy Graham. I mean, we don't need Jimmy Graham, but that would be kind of fun. God, I want a running back who does well. I just wish you could check player stats at this time. Because when they're in free agency right here, if you go to season stats, they don't show up. Like Jamal Charles doesn't show up anywhere in here. Who was that? Niall Davis is the Cowboys running back. Wasn't he like just a returner in real life? Interesting. Christian McCaffrey is the Cardinals running back, and he's doing terribly. But yeah, I just wish you could check the running back stats or just player stats when they're a free agent, because I don't know if Jamal Charles actually did well. Still really no good free agent D lineman. I mean, Akeem Hicks obviously was really good in real life, but he doesn't have a dev trait here. Still might be worth signing, though. He's more expensive than I would have guessed, but I guess he is like the best defensive tackle other than Terrence Knighton and Nick Fairley. There really isn't a good free agent linebacker. I mean, we could go James Laurinaitis, but he's 31. You know what? Just so we have someone there, because this might be the final year, let's just get old. Let's just make this team good and old. Josh Robinson. Do I remember Josh Robinson? I don't think so. That's the first, like, decent overall player whose name just doesn't ring a bell. Didn't I already see him? Who did I see? Are there 2 of him? No, I'm insane. There are some, like, washed up, amazing players here, like Glover Quinn, Cam Chancellor, James Laurinaitis, obviously, who we're going for. There's 38-year-old Carson Palmer here. That's something. Ooh, PJ Walker, Nick Mullins, Taysom Hill. Ooh, wait. I might have to think about Taysom Hill. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do with him, but we don't have the money. It says we do. I don't know what we're going to do with Taysom Hill, but I want Taysom Hill. Oh, this is a world where Kirk Cousins never broke out. That's interesting. I would change dev traits in these rosters if I could, but you can't change dev traits outside of franchise, which is stupid. Case Keenum down here, Colt McCoy. This is interesting. Taylor Heineke, Tim Tebow. I kind of remember the name Rusty Smith. Not to be rude, but his face looks too small for his head. It looks like someone went into Photoshop and like cropped his face and then shrunk it a little bit. You know what I mean? That's fucked up. I'm sorry. That's kind of just what it looks like to me though. Okay, anyways, I'm just yapping. Game? Okay, there we go. These are the players I'm going to go for in free agency. It's going to be Jimmy Graham, which would be a crazy addition. We don't really need more offense, but if we can get more offense, why not? And like y'all saw, James Laurinaitis, Akeem Hicks, Josh Robinson, and Taysom Hill. Were there just just no good defensive players available? Or, I mean, there were safeties. We don't need safeties. There were pass rushers. We don't, on paper, need pass rushers. And yeah, there weren't really any D linemen, so that's just tough. But let's see if these 5 players want to sign. Oh yeah, you can't sim like 3 times in a week. I forgot about that. Okay, well, we do get Jimmy Graham, Josh Robinson, Taysom Hill, James Laurinaitis. We get all of them. What did I click on? But that's a huge free agent class. Look at this offense. Okay, ignore Taysom Hill. We'll get a QB, but I guess Giovanni Bernard was never like insane in real life, but he was good. But Josh Gordon, Chris Godwin, Jimmy Graham. I guess reading those names out isn't like super insane, but well, that's really good. At all their peaks. That trio right now would be awful other than Chris Godwin, but if we're getting like the prime of all those players, that's insane, which that's kind of what we're getting here. I mean, mostly. I still kind of want to do something about this defense in the draft. We'll see what we can do. Maybe there's a crazy defensive player that I'm not thinking of, but let's get to the draft and we'll see which QB we want to get. But here in the draft, we pick at number 9. That's a little lower than I expected, but I guess that's fine. The Cardinals have the number 1 pick here, and this is a pretty decent quarterback class. It wasn't looking like one early on. Lamar and Baker were definitely looking like the only 2 that were decent, but Josh Allen might be the best quarterback from this class. It's either him or Lamar, obviously, the MVP. Literally 2 of the 3 best quarterbacks in real life. So I'm curious to see. Quarterbacks have been slipping a ton in this rebuild, so maybe we'll have every quarterback available to us at number 9. Let's see. Minka Fitzpatrick goes top 10. That's something. Okay, well, Baker Mayfield got picked somewhere, and we could go Lamar, but I think I'll go with the quarterback that went closer to this range in Josh Allen. Sounds good. Only a 75 overall, arguably should be lower, because he started out his career not good at all, but he, in one offseason, just became amazing and looked completely different the next year. I don't know if he went to a different country to get some shady substances. I don't know what he did, but hopefully there isn't that career delay here, if we want to call it that. Lamar's still available. That's a little crazy. I don't know why teams just hate quarterbacks here, but here I want a D lineman. There's John Franklin Myers. That would be kind of nice. BJ Hill, which is where I meet your mother every weekend. I'm hilarious. Harrison Phillips, Maurice Hurst, Tim Settle, Fadu Kasi, Sebastian Joseph Day. Like, there are a lot of good defensive linemen. There aren't like any current top level defensive linemen. I guess John Franklin Myers is already a defensive end. He's probably not going to be a great overall, but he'll be worth it. I mean, he's a late first round talent. We're in the early second, so that's worth it. He'll probably only be like a 70. I can't remember what I made him. I mean, I made these ratings like a year and a half ago, maybe more, but let's take him. He's a 71, ranked 23 in the class. We got him at 41, hidden dev. We'll take it. Definitely once I start working on these draft classes again, I'm going to raise overalls, I think. And last pick of the rebuild, potentially, I want to make it a good one. What's something we need? What's our most upgradable position? Oh God, for a second I thought I forgot to take a QB. I don't know why. Maybe corner, but I don't know if we're going to get a 79 overall corner or someone we can start. Should we go with Will Clapp? I noticed him here. I don't know. There aren't any like great O-linemen. Wyatt Teller, actually. I almost missed him. You know what? Browns player. He didn't get picked by the Browns. I think he got picked by the Bills, but he became good for the Browns. Jordan Mailata's also here. That's something. I mean, he's a little tall to play at guard at 6'8". And then receivers, there is... honestly, not a lot. There's MVS. That's probably the best one I've seen so far. Ray McLeod is decent. Russell Gage, Cedric Wilson, Braxton Berrios. Wow, there really isn't anyone great unless I just missed someone. Alan Lazard. Wow, this is terrible. Robert Foster was decent for like a year. Richie James. Yeah, this is a wow. I mean, I'm sure there were some good receivers that got taken, but holy. All right, let's go with Wyatt Teller as our last pick of the rebuild. A lineman isn't the flashiest pick, but it's one of the last things we kind of need on this roster. It's not even a massive need, but we'll do it. 73 overall, hidden dev, we'll take it. But let's get to the end of this draft and we will see who the CPU picks for us. Oh, interesting group of players here. Okay, the first two are interesting. Isaac Yiadom was pretty good for the Saints this year. I think PFF gave him a really high grade if you want to weigh a lot into that. But no, he did look really good for the Saints when he was out there, for the most part. So I might raise him at some point from a 66. I'm surprised I even gave him a star dev to begin with, but I guess that's fair. We also got Deshaun Elliott, which is interesting. We don't need another safety. I wish we did something else. I feel like the CPU just loves secondary here for whatever reason. We don't need more. They picked Keon Crossan too, who I also gave hidden dev for some reason. I mean, he's been okay. I guess he would be a high upside guy though. I guess that kind of makes sense. He's fast. And then Jordan Wilkins. That's also interesting. Probably won't make the team, but interesting draft here. That's what I can say about it. But let's get into the final year of this rebuild and we will see how the team's looking. We've made the playoffs twice, which I would call a success. We're not going to get a Super Bowl win, which I didn't expect to, but hopefully we can finish strong here. And part of me wants to go 0-16. I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. That would be kind of funny though. I think we have too good of a roster to go 0-17. I mean, obviously we do, but even with the bullshit that is Madden, I don't even think in this game it's possible for us to go 0-17. You never know though. You never know. Oh yeah, I forgot I lowered my volume in Madden 24. I was like, why is everything so goddamn loud in this game? I just forgot I have my volume lowered in the newer ones. But anyways, here is a look at the team heading into the final year of the rebuild. Actually, now here's a look at the team heading into the final year of the rebuild. This is a crazy offense. I mean, we'll see how it develops. We've officially made the Browns offensive line now. I mean, I don't think this was ever a group at the same time. Well, no, because Joe Thomas was retired before Wyatt Teller came into the league. That's kind of crazy to think about. That's interesting. And also, Alex Mack might have already been retired at this point. I think he went to the Falcons and then retired. And Mitchell Schwartz, I think, was on the Chiefs at this time. So no, this definitely wasn't a group at the same time, but all these guys have played for the Browns, at least. And we'll see what Jimmy Graham can do. I mean, I kind of want a more tight end heavy playbook, but also our offense has been good, so I don't want to change it. And then the defense is looking okay. I mean, still it isn't the best in the world. Our D-line hasn't really gotten much better throughout the rebuild, but it's still decent. 84 overall defense. Should develop throughout the year because, of course, we have TJ Watt, Matt Judon, Jordan Poyer's still young-ish, probably like 27? Yeah, 27. So we'll just have to see what happens this year, but let's get just straight to the end of year number 4, and we'll see how we do. All right, well, before I reveal how we did in the final year of the rebuild, super quick, if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like on the video. I would very much appreciate it. It helps push these to more people. And again, if we can get to 3,500 likes on this video, I think the goal was, I will do another throwback rebuild. Whatever goofy idea y'all can come up with. Go in the comments too and like whatever good ideas you see. Only like them if they're good ones though. I have the bad habit of liking way too much stuff, even if I don't like agree with it or think it's interesting. I don't know. That was pointless for me to say. I'm just yapping. But yeah, let me know any good rebuild ideas you have, any throwback ideas, and subscribe for more because, you know, this is the first of many goofy rebuild ideas I have coming up. I guess not goofy. This one's more normal, just a throwback, but I have a lot of fun stuff planned for the near future. I mean, the offseason is kind of slow for Madden. I mean, there just isn't any content and there's no football, but I'm going to be having a ton of different stuff that I think y'all will enjoy. Oh, and actually, you know what? One more thing. I don't plug this enough, but turn on notifications for the channel. Anytime I do remember to say it, it seems like a ton more people do turn on notifications. It'll help you make sure you never miss one of these videos, and you can be one of the first people to ever see them if you care about that. I don't know. But anyways, I'm sorry. I yap way too much. With a 90 overall team in the final year of the rebuild, we finish 9-7, which isn't good, but at least we make the playoffs, and we're just right back where we started pretty much. We're taking on the Texans in the wild card, which I think was the first playoff game of this rebuild. And you know what? To be petty, we only went 9-7. Where does a 90 overall team rank in the league? It looks like the Steelers are also a 90. That's crazy. I thought we would kind of be far and away the best team, but we're tied for number 1, it looks like. There are a few 88 teams too, like the Seahawks, Patriots, Packers, I almost missed them, and the Bengals of all teams. I guess the Bengals were really good. in like 2015, and that's when we started this, so that makes sense. But yeah, we are tied for the best roster in the league. We should have been better than 9-7, but I've seen better teams do worse, so I'm okay with it. The Steelers did as well as they should have. They went 15-1. Why can't we have that success? But Josh Allen, 4,400 yards, 34 touchdowns, 13 picks as a rookie. Really good completion percentage too. Did better than Johnny Manziel, so even just as a rookie, Josh Allen was better than Manziel. I mean, in real life, if Johnny Manziel had those kind of stat lines, there's no way in hell you move on from him. Like I said, every quarterback's just kind of really good in this game. Giovanni Bernard sucked. You know, quarterbacks stole running backs' power in this game. Every running back is just terrible for the most part in Sim. I mean, there are some exceptions, actually. Some of these guys did crazy. 6.5 yards per carry for Le'Veon Bell. What the hell? 6.1 for Derrick Henry. That's crazy enough. The Seahawks still have Marshawn Lynch. He's 32 here. Eddie Lacy, Jeremy Hill, Alfred Morris. I'm realizing I forgot to check who drafted who this last year. Next time I do these, I want to try to remember better, like, to check what players got picked where. Also, I was going to say, didn't Niall Davis have the exact same year as last year? He had one more touchdown this year, one less yard per attempt, and 100 exactly less rushing yards. I was like, that looks really similar. It was. Anyways, for receiving, we had two 1,000-yard receivers, 1,250 yards and 11 touchdowns for Gordon, 1,000 yards for Graham and 6 touchdowns, 900 yards for Godwin, 9 touchdowns. The blocking was much better this year. Still not perfect, but good. But on defense, not as many tackles this year, which is a good thing, you know. I feel like that's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Like, it's not really good to have players that get a ton of tackles. It kind of means your defense is on the field too long. They just aren't getting stops or turnovers or anything. So this is good. 106 tackles for Laurinaitis, 104 for Kirksey. We'll take that. Tackles for loss, 10 for Watt and Akeem Hicks, and sacks, 8 for TJ Watt. Still not great, but better than last year. 4 for Akeem Hicks. Only Matt Judon has been absolutely terrible. He has 6 total sacks in 3 starting seasons. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this game isn't better than Madden 24. Because, I mean, even though sack numbers for a lot of players are too low, they aren't this low. For some players, they're too high, but for a lot, they're too low. But interceptions, we got a lot. 4 for Gibson and Hayden, 2 for Laurinaitis, Williams, and Robinson, and then 1 for Kirksey and Kazee, whatever. That's what, 16 total picks? Pretty good amount. But MVP goes to Carson Wentz on the Giants. Probably would have had an MVP in real life if he never got injured for the Eagles that one year, but I don't know if they would have won a Super Bowl if he didn't get injured. So, I mean, maybe they still would have, but you never know. Patrick Mahomes got taken by the Cowboys. Even in Madden 21, I can't escape the Cowboys and rebuilds. God damn, dude. Baker got taken by the Cardinals at number 1. Phillip Rivers is all the way down to a 71 here, but he's still starting for the Chargers and doing well. Oh yeah, and I never pointed this out. That's interesting. Ryan Tannehill ended up being really good for the Dolphins. He was kind of terrible for them, then went to the Titans and became pretty good for at least a couple years. But here, just for the Dolphins, he eventually turned it on, I guess. But he wins Offensive Player of the Year here. Josh Allen at number 8 as a rookie. Defensive Player of the Year goes to, I guess, TJ Watt's brother, JJ Watt. AJ Klein for the Jags at number 2. What the hell? Deion Jones at number 5. That's something. On the Ravens. Ryan Shazier at number 8. Josh Allen obviously wins Offensive Player of the Year. Gus Edwards got picked by the Chiefs. And DJ Chark. Darius Geis, I forgot about him. Weird players become good here. I guess it's just all about opportunity. I mean, there's a world where all these players do become good if they get picked to different teams. Landing spot is so underrated for how players work out. With like opportunity, scheme fit, just luck, I guess. Like in real life, it could be a completely different group of players that we didn't even know exist that are good. It's interesting to think about. But Jair Alexander wins Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Texans. Derwin James on the Patriots. Interesting stuff here too. No Browns, I don't think. Unfortunately, I don't think we even really had anyone that got much time. Roquan got picked by the Ravens. That's fun. Jesse Bates got picked by the Bengals. So a few actual landing spots. I mean, Roquan didn't get picked by the Ravens, but still. These are so fun to do, at least for me. It's interesting to see all this stuff and how the league would shake out if everything just went slightly different. But I mean, we have an insane roster, so it's going to be catastrophic when we lose to the Texans here, but we are going to watch this game simulate. I'm not going to play it because I haven't played this game in I don't know how long, and my PC lags like crazy when I try to record it and play it. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I love actually playing this game. It's kind of annoying at times. But let's simulate this game. I forgot this old pause screen. That's kind of interesting. Oh my God. Look who the Texans quarterback is. is. Oh, well, I can't go here and check, but you see it right there. It's Johnny Manziel. That's insane. Oh, we're totally gonna lose this game. Why? All right, let's simulate it out. We'll see what happens. Oh, that is loud. Still no scoring through the first quarter. We finally get a touchdown, but the Texans tie us, of course. They're driving and they have to punt. We get a touchdown, though. We're up 14-7. They match us, though. They're good at tying us, but they take the lead 21-14. We tie it at 21. They kick a field goal, but we get a touchdown to take the lead 28-24. That's a scarring scoreline for me. But we get the win 28-24. I think our first playoff win of the rebuild. No, we might have won one, but we take down our old quarterback in Johnny Manziel, and we move on to the divisional. I need to turn my volume down. The fans are screaming at me. Oh, my game crashed. That's cool. I forgot the loading screen of Madden 21 went kind of hard. Do we still have the win, or do I have to force it? I might have to force it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Why? I forgot the flashback, the throwback franchises do this. Okay, well, that was probably the end of the rebuild anyways. I don't think we were gonna win another game, but now I can't get a look at the team. Oh my god. Okay, no, this game isn't better than Madden 24. Maybe I need to appreciate what we got. There's no way. Well, I can't get back in the league. I don't know if all the different real life faces just freak the game out or what it is, but I remember once we get to a certain point in franchises, in throwback franchises, it just corrupts them. Like, what's this one? Is this a throwback? A flashback franchise? Maybe. It must be. I can't open it. How about this one? Is it do I just need to restart my game? Because I can't open any of these. Maybe I just need to restart my game. No, I can open this one. And yeah, this is a flat. God, why? Oh, is it gonna let me? No, okay. Well, at least we got a playoff win before we close this thing out. That's a positive way to end, even though it's a very annoying way to end this. So maybe 3 years would be the magic number for throwback rebuilds. I don't know. Did all franchises do this? I think these were just rebuilds, though. Oh, I got fired, apparently. I don't know. All right, this has certainly been a rebuild. It was a fun one. I hate this game. I hope y'all enjoyed this, though. I tried my best. We got some playoff wins with the Browns, which is more than they can really say in real life, at least definitely at this time. And we turned it from an 0-17 team to literally the best roster in the league, so I did what I could. But thank you all so much for watching, and with that, I will see y'all again in the next video. Expect more like this soon, and goodbye.